back to another video. We're gonna react to this great video by exe.plained about the entire Subnautica 2 colonist story. Let's get into this.
The Cicada, an Altera starship with 40,000 digitalized colonists on.
Actually, I did a video about Subnautica 2. If you check out the live stream, you'll see I advanced some more. I learned some stuff, you know? Anyways, I'm gonna let him talk, because, like, he's the expert.
Board departs for Zizura, a desert planet 14 years away from Earth.
My question is, though, why would they want to go to a desert planet? Or am I stupid?
If you're wondering what I mean by digitalized colonists, allow me to introduce you to the Altera Corporation's most dystopian advancement, human fabrication. One's consciousness can now be digitally stored and printed into a new body on command. If we define death by a life-ending injury that cannot be treated, then death no longer exists in this.
You know, that'd be pretty cool to have in real life. That'd actually be very awesome and cool.
Reality.
Can we work on that? Hey, scientists, let's work on that.
The human printing process is supervised by the Noetic Advisor System, or NOAA for short. This AI determines when you're printed, where you're printed, and what you do or don't remember from your past life. Somewhere along the journey, something happens to the Cicada that causes it to crash land on an ocean moon named Proteus, 40,000 light years away from Earth. Despite some colonists claiming that the Cicada must have entered some sort of alien phase gate, the truth as to how it ended up so far into unexplored space remains a mystery. Now that you're all caught up, I welcome you to the entire timeline of the colonists on Proteus. In the face of such a critical situation, the Noetic Advisor prints the 26 most useful colonists available with a clear objective.
Why were there so many K's? And M's? S's? T's? Why is there only one W? I bet he's the GOAT. Woo. Yeah, no, wait, he was the doctor. Yeah, he is the GOAT.
To make this ocean world habitable for the rest of the sleeping souls on board. The colonists were printed from Sleep Bay 3, which we can assume was the only sleep bay with functional biobeds that survived the crash. Within seconds of being fabricated, the colonists had to face their first threat, the crushing atmospheric pressure of Proteus. With a projected lifespan of only 13 minutes, the colonists most likely died and reprinted repeatedly until one of them made a discovery. Colony purser Anita discovered a strange organism with no clear ecological niche. This life form is known as an angel comb and has the ability to transmit genetic information through contact. By inserting her hand into its core, she inherited the genetic traits necessary to adapt to the atmosphere. Thanks to Anita's discovery, the colony could finally live for more than a quarter of an hour. The pioneers extracted the core of the angel comb and placed it near the sleep bay in what they called an adaptation chamber, so that those who were reprinted could adapt quickly to the hostile conditions of Proteus. By gathering resources and using Altera's blueprints to
the poisoned sea. What does that mean?
Fabricate tools, the colonists repaired Sleep Bay 3 and expanded it, turning it into the Welcome Center. Colony surgeon Sophie and colony ecologist Nahima record a message for those re-emerging from the sleep bay after dying. In it, they share a chilling discovery.
Take a sip of seawater. Notice that sweet blood taste under the salt? That's a toxic dose of heavy metals. Nobody survived past 3 months.
The colonists noticed that the longer they were exposed to the contaminated waters, the more delusional they became, experiencing hallucinations and an urge to swim towards the large tree on the horizon. This is what they called the Macefield Syndrome.
Why would they call it the I just want to know why they called it the Macefield out of everything. And why can't we not go on that tree yet? I want to be in that tree.
Thanks to Anita's angel comb discovery, the colonists were able to expand their original lifespan of 13 minutes, but now they have to face yet another threat: starvation. The few nutrient blocks and water bottles that survived the crash weren't enough to feed 26 people for long, and feeding on the local fauna wasn't an option since the enzymes in their stomachs weren't adapted to digest alien organisms. Suffering from advanced starvation, Anita resorted to the same thing that saved her and her group last time, the angel comb. She claimed she could hear it calling
yeah.
out to her, but Sophie warned her that she was hallucinating. Nevertheless, Anita swam to the angel comb and spoke to it,
Yo,
offering
Anita's
it her
been
body in
killing it.
exchange for the comb to grant them the
You talk about
adaptation
that?
to be able to eat.
This angel comb is sick. It is calling out to us. I say to it, this is my body, given for you.
And it worked.
No,
Anita was
she sacrificed her life for them so that they can live. That deserves some claps.
printed in Sleep Bay 3, and the angel comb she sacrificed herself to is the same one that will allow the main character later on to digest alien organisms. Now being able to feed off of the native wildlife, the colonists built a base to the north of the Welcome Center called Habitat. They built new biobeds and assigned themselves to them, establishing Habitat as their main base and the place where they would study the mysterious virus infecting the waters. The colonists were slowly but surely getting closer to their goal of making Proteus habitable for 40,000 people, but they were running into a major issue.
What's the
None of them
issue?
could survive for longer than 3 months
Oh, because the Mayfield.
without showing severe symptoms of the Macefield. The bone-blistering levels of cadmium, lead, and chromium in the water were giving the colonists tremors that made them incapable of working properly. So colony engineer and lead diver Mantis came up with a controversial but effective solution: intentional reprinting. By purposefully dying, colonists could be reprinted into a new body, temporarily resetting their contamination. Mantis knew this method wouldn't sit right with everybody, especially Sophie, who was studying the evolution of the damages caused by the Macefield in hopes to find a cure. So he did it secretly. Those who worked under his command were taken to his private bunker and reprinted in his biobed.
The metal is giving everyone tremors. Sophie says don't treat it. I need a clear timeline of nerve breakdown. I say I cannot afford clumsy workers. This bed will reprint you with improved fine motor skills and muscle memory. No more fumbling around for your tools. It will delay the symptoms for a while. Just don't tell the boss.
However, despite how much she tried to avoid it, Sophie ended up coming to the same conclusion.
I hate it more than I can say, but it's time. As colony surgeon, I have determined that we can no longer take care of the sick. We don't have the calories to spare. I will not force anyone to reprint. But I ask that once you are too sick to work, you volunteer for recycling into a new body.
Sophie Butcher Busha.
It won't cure the permanent damage,
Nickname is
but
that?
it will clean out the metals and virus for a while.
This decision was ultimately what caused the Great Divide between the colonists. In protest of Sophie's decision
Can't have anything nice.
to
Oh, what the?
end medical treatment for the sick, Anita and 5 other colonists abandoned Habitat and formed their own group, the Jubilee. But Sophie's decision wasn't the only reason Anita decided to abandon the mission.
So we got the Union and Confederates.
What drove her to her limit was the death and posterior reset of colony engineer and lead salver Zip. Zip was very affected by the Macefield and got the urge to swim deep into the hot caves, where she eventually drowned.
Zip is dead. Not just reprinted. Dead. We all saw how she suffered. The metal poisoning. Her hands trembled. Her gums turned blue. She was always cold. We could hear her black box crying her death down at the bottom of the cave. Why wouldn't Noah reprint her? On the 4th day, Sleep Bay 3 printed a new copy of Zipporah Mog. She was not our Zip. She remembered nothing since the day she boarded the Cicada. Chap says Noah reset her to her last known good state. I am aghast. Naima is right. We are slaves.
As a result of this tragedy, the colony built a base in the depths of the caves to monitor the viral infection of those who explored them. Instead of changing Proteus for human convenience, the Jubilee believed in letting Proteus change them. After all, it is thanks to the alien genes Anita discovered that the colony had survived until now. Anita and her group claimed they could live in the open sea and that the angel combs would give them everything they needed to survive. But here's where things start to get weird. the Jubilee takes refuge in an abandoned base called Camp 1. The colonists seem to be familiar with this location, and given its name, we can assume it was the first base they built on Proteus. But if that were the case, how come the welcome message at the sleep bay doesn't mention Camp 1? If this message was recorded a few months after they crash-landed, why does it mention the second base they built and not the first? Through the mystery of Camp 1, we discover the dark nature of the Noetic advisor that supervises the colonist printing process. Noah may be able to erase memories, but it can't erase evidence. Camp 1 was built exclusively out of corridors, making it even more obvious that it was the first human base built on Proteus, since they were still working with very limited blueprints. So why doesn't anybody remember who built it?
During salvage at Camp 1, Zip recovered a body from the seafloor. It's me. I was in the first wave that built Camp 1. The ones who vanished. What happened to me? If Noah wiped my memory but kept me around, it must think I contribute something valuable to the group.
All evidence points
So wait, was she murdered?
towards a mass memory reset, but in order for that to happen, there would have to be a mass killing first. Judging by the state of the base, we can assume it was attacked by something. Maybe this is when the colonists realized that they weren't alone on Proteus. Did Noah erase the colony's memory of encountering a hostile alien species? Let me know what you think in the comments. By this point, the colony is separated into 3 factions. The first is the Jubilee, led by Anita. They believe in forming part of the alien ecosystem and not resisting it. The second group is formed by those who think like Sophie. The mission must be completed by all means, and they resort to the Noetic advisor as a source of certainty in the face of fear. They will fight whatever this alien moon throws at them in order to save the 40,000 sleeping souls aboard the Cicada. And the final group, if it can even be called a group at all, is formed exclusively by Nahima. Nahima is a firm believer that humanity must perish. She explains that if their colony isn't the last of humanity, then there is
There always has to be a buzzkill.
no reason for them to suffer on an inhospitable ocean moon. And if her colony is the last of humanity, then mankind doesn't deserve to live. In her words, if the last and best we can offer the universe is a gaggle of indentured servants ruled by a talking spreadsheet, better to end. Nahima's principles are directly against the mission she was contracted to carry out, and subsequently against Noah, which she displays great hatred for.
It won't let you die. Not its precious workforce.
Noah didn't do anything though.
If you become uncontrollable,
Noah is
it'll wipe your
innocent.
memories and start over. No anger, no resentment. A nice, clean you.
She thinks human beings deserve happiness, but colonizing Proteus isn't the way to find it. According to her, the correct way to achieve happiness is to explore the wonders of this ocean moon and then find a place to die and donate your nutrients. Whether you think Nahima is correct or severely delusional is up to you. Sophie, on the other hand, made up her mind.
Because she's a jaded burnout who thinks eels are more important than people. She would tell you that our only future on Proteus is an endless cycle of digital reincarnation and debt slavery.
Dang.
So she'd rather have no future at all. I would tell you she's off her antidepressants and rotten with Macefield.
What? Yo, you didn't have to expose her like that, Sophie. Dang.
As a byproduct of her radical beliefs, Nahima coerces Mantis and computer dynamicist Chap to destroy Habitat with explosives. Why exactly Mantis and Chap agreed to this is uncertain, but we can assume the heavy metal poisoning they were suffering from had something to do with it.
Damn it, there is a riot in Habitat. Chap and Mantis have explosives.
Since the blast destroyed their respective biobeds, it permanently ended the lives of Mogami, Quaker, the twins, Dr. Wu, and of course, Chap and Mantis themselves. The colonists that were able to survive the explosion formed a group led by sensor operator Ganzo, except for Sophie, who set out by herself in pursuit of Nahima. Ganzo leads the survivors to the Tadpole Pens, a base located at the edge of a coral garden in which the colony kept their submarine vehicles, also known as tadpoles. Ganzo's focus was to gain access to these vehicles and locate the Jubilee to unite the group again. But in the process, lead pilot Ruby, who also happens to be Ganzo's wife, was attacked by a marrow breach, a shark-like predatory alien fish.
Everybody get your flares ready. Keep them away from the kids. Two of them! Hey! Umala! Uh-oh.
She died of a spinal
Why'd you say
cord fracture and was transmitted to an unknown biobed, meaning we can't claim she's completely dead, but she's also nowhere to be found. Colony Chef Tuba attempted to abandon Ganzo's group and go find the Jubilee by herself, but she was also attacked and eventually cornered by a marrow breach.
I'm trapped by a marrow breach. I don't have any flares. I'm not getting eaten. The cook will not be eaten. I'd rather run out of air. Habitat's gone. Chap lost it. He blew up the beds. Some of us made it out with Ganzo. I'm sorry, Ganzo. I said I was going back to Habitat, but I'm going to find the Jubilee, and I don't think they can feed you all. I'm sorry, man. I left you. I don't know where I'm gonna reprint. I don't know what I remember.
Tuba let herself die of dehydration before becoming the fish's dinner. Much like Ruby, she was transmitted to an unknown biobed and is currently missing. When Ganzo's group arrives at the tadpole pens, they find the control room locked and all of the tadpoles gone. It turns out Nahima had taken one to head towards the World Tree, and Sophie took the last one to follow her. Since Zip had the control room key on her when she died, Ganzo's group decide to go down into the hot caves to find it. What follows is a massacre. Every single one of the pioneers who ventured into the caves drowned. Much like what happened to Zip, the hot water triggered severe delusions in these colonists, making them detach their own air supply. Due to extremely high levels of contamination, the NOAA node at the hot cave base camp marked 7 out of the 9 pioneers who drowned as do not reprint, and
Why does he get to decide? I'm just saying. They should all be reprinted.
scheduled them for a memory reset. While this is good news since it means that these colonists aren't completely dead and will likely be printed with their memories wiped in Sleep Bay 3, there's one problem. There is no more Sleep Bay 3. In what seems to have been a group effort, Nahima and the Jubilee sabotaged it by first cutting the hard lines that connected the NOAA nodes and then detonating an explosive that sent the biobeds into a pitch-dark trench 700 meters below the surface.
This structure was connected to Sleep Bay 3 until the bay suddenly moved, picked up and hurled a full fathom into the deep, with you and I aboard. And if I am not mistaken, and I never am, this node was killed by an explosion below the structure.
So what happened to the 7 drowned colonists? Are they never coming back because their biobeds were destroyed? Did they reprint at the bottom of the abyss and were crushed by the pressure? Or did they reprint in someone's rigged biobed unsupervised by a NOAA node? Only time will tell. The only survivors of the mass drowning were Ganzo and Twinkle.
I told them it was a terrible idea. I told them. They wanted to look for Zip's old key down in the hot cave. They insisted.
Wait, what was on Zip's key? It was something with like a code, wasn't it?
As soon as we hit the hot water, people started to drift. They were in a trance, like nitrogen narcosis, babbling about roots, trees, all swimming towards the bottom of the cave. Ganzo gave his oxygen mask to a dead crab.
Come on, Gonzo. Gonzo. You gotta do better, man. Can't be doing this. Cannot be doing this.
I knew it was Maysville syndrome. I didn't want to be infected, so I just dropped my air tanks, reprinted myself here, and I waited for the others, but they won't print. Noah says they're contaminated. Maybe I can help. Let's see. Ganzo's first in the queue. Noah, clear Ganzo to print. Noah, listen to me.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Easy, you're back.
Oh, Twinkle! Oh man, I gave my air to a dead crab.
You all lost it. I think the hot water triggered your maze field.
Is everyone okay?
No?
Once out of the caves, they made it their priority to locate the Jubilee. As for Sophie and Nahima, their fate is unknown.
To any survivors of the Coral Gardens habitat, I am pursuing Nahima towards the World Tree. She has been compromised by Maysville syndrome and wants to eradicate humanity on Proteus. I'm going to...
Wait, was this over 3 months? So shouldn't they be dead? You know, they should be dead, because they can only live up to 3 months.
stop her. And, if possible, destroy the tree. Do not believe anything she tells you. She is determined to kill us all. leaving supplies for anyone who comes after me. If you lose my trail, assume that I failed. Find Nahima. Kill the tree. Good luck.
Did Sophie manage to stop her, or did Nahima kill her in the process? Did they ever make it to the tree, or were they devoured by Shiver Leviathans? Until the game's story is expanded, I guess we'll never know. What we do know is the real reason as to why Nahima was so invested in destroying the colony.
Tell us.
She was certain Noah would begin printing duplicates of the colonists.
I'm sorry I destroyed your colony. I did it because you couldn't. Because you're a good leader and you never give up on the mission. And I know where this mission will end. Noah is going to start printing duplicates. Every morning the biobeds will print 10,000 of us. Every day we'll maximize our KPIs and OKRs, and Noah's utility function will say, these people are happy and healthy. Mission complete. Humanity is thriving. But Noah couldn't do that on its own. Noah would need human help to bypass its restrictions. And you'd help it, Sophie. I know you would. If it was the only choice you had left, you'd do whatever it takes to keep your crew alive. So I had to stop you.
What if I told you that Nahima's vision of the colony's future wasn't so far-fetched? A hidden conversation between Twinkle and Ganzo found within the game files reveals the most disturbing scenario this game has yet to offer. Listen closely. Ganzo, I don't think this is the Jubilee. They're us. That's me. I guess Noah wants an astronomer in the mix. You figure there's a sleep bay nearby? Yeah, same as our group. You printed out some colonists and told them to make a go at it. But these poor people, they don't have any adaptations. Look at you, your legs are like sticks. You're starving. They can't digest the food. No angel comb to donate the enzymes. I don't see any grow beds. What are they? Oh my god. Ganzo, let's go. Wait. We could ask for help. Maybe they've got communications. Maybe they've heard from the ship. Look at the biobeds, Ganzo. Look at that. Yeah, I see it. It won't work long term though. The biobeds need feedstock like anything else. Why waste it making food? It'd make more sense to reprint yourself every day. Unless the point was to test how long you could live on a diet of biobed meat. Oh man, you are remarkably calm about this. A lot of animals eat their young under stress. Without access to angel comb adaptations, this unknown group of colonists resorted to cannibalism and ate their own prints fresh
Really?
out of the biobed. But that's not even the worst of it. The colony that Twinkle and Ganzo were looking at were none other than themselves, identical clones. Let's attempt to explain the situation. The colony we know is a product of Sleep Bay 3, a part of the ship that detached and miraculously survived. But of course, if one Sleep Bay managed to remain functional, then so could others. And in a starship as large as the Cicada, there might have been hundreds of them. The possibility that there's a separate human colony living in a different part of Proteus is absolutely plausible. The only issue is that Twinkle and Ganzo weren't staring at a different colony. They were looking at exact replicas of themselves. This activity is extremely illegal and no Altera Noetic advisor system would be programmed to do such.
Couldn't Altera see what it was doing? Or was it like, or can they not see what the Noah's doing?
A thing. Just like Nahima said, it would require human intervention to bypass its restrictions. I believe this is where all of the missing colonists are. All of the pioneers that died and were transmitted to an unknown biobed were reprinted in this remote sleep bay. Desperate to survive, they illegally modified the Noah node responsible for them to be able to print already existing colonists. Without access to the adaptation chamber, they were forced to eat the only thing they could digest: themselves. That gruesome ending concludes the entire timeline of the colonists, before you, the qualified investigator, are printed 28 years later to discover what happened to them. If you enjoyed the story and learned anything new, please consider liking the video and subscribing, as it helps me out a ton. As usual, if you have any theories of your own.
Okay, anyways. That was a great video by exe.plained. Yeah, definitely like and subscribe to him. Great content. The best. Makes very good videos. Anyways, I'll see y'all in the next video. My video. But, yeah. My next video may be more Subnautica, so see you in the next one.